National Economic Council reconstitutes Committee on Flood Mitigation and Adaptation.
Lives were lost and a lot of properties were also destroyed.
Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation debunks report on collapsed Dadinkowa Dam in Gombe State. Labour Party appoints Caretaker Committee Chairman. Hello and welcome to the News at 11 on Nta News24. We're live in Abuja. I am Dennis Adegunloye. The National Economic Council has reconstituted the Committee on Flood Mitigation and Adaptation to alleviate the plight of affected states. The Council has also endorsed the N774 program as a primary platform for combating malnutrition in Nigeria. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrilla reports on this and other issues deliberated upon at the meeting.
This is the 144th National Economic Council meeting and the 6th in the year 2024, chaired by Vice President Kashim Shettima, with governors and other stakeholders. Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed, on behalf of the state governors, commended the federal government on the Flood Situation Intervention Support Fund of 3 billion naira to each state.
More devastating along the northeast axis, where the major artery between Kano and Maiduguri has been cut off, with devastating effects on households, schools, bridges, and other means of livelihoods. Lives were lost, and a lot of properties were also destroyed.
Monday will be the deadline for all the states of the Federation to submit detail of damages, including farms, schools, bridges that have been affected by the last flood. And Mr. Chairman mentioned that it will be taken into consideration for appropriate support to the various states.
On issues of healthcare services, the National Economic Council endorses the N774 program as a primary platform for combating malnutrition in Nigeria, emphasizing partnership among the 3 tiers of government, a priority.
The challenge that we see on nutrition. We are distributing multiple micronutrient supplements that have been mobilized, free. 1.3 million doses have already been distributed, and each one of those 1.3 million packages will serve a pregnant woman 6 months. That will be for the mother, but also for her child.
The council at the meeting directed state governments to establish Food and Nutrition Security Task Force, calling on development partners to mobilize resources to complement government efforts to address malnutrition. On state policing, sequel to upsurge of insecurity in some parts of the country, the National Economic Council directed 4 states yet to submit their report to do so by Monday, September 9th, for proper attention to complete the report on the establishment of state police.
So that we would have a robust security in our nation. And for that purpose, sometime in the past, NEC considered the establishment of state police and asked states to make submissions for consideration.
The council also received updates on the Federation account.
On the following accounts: the foreign excess crude accounts is starting at 473,754.47 cents. Natural resources accounts 3,551,078,534 naira 57 kobo.
Prior to the meeting, Vice President Kashim Shettima received Bill Gates and Aliko Dangote, and at the end of the council meeting, the council appreciated the 2 foundations for the support to Nigeria in several initiatives. From the State House, Abraman Jibrila, NTA News.
The 10th House of Representatives is working on modalities to introduce another internship program for outstanding participants of the Legislative Mentorship Initiative. It will hold biannually with 50% increase in the number of beneficiaries. Speaker of the House, Tajuddin Abbas, stated this during an engagement with fellows of the Legislative Mentorship Initiative held at the National Assembly Library. National Assembly correspondent Joshua Gunjide reports.
The Legislative Mentorship Initiative was part of the legislative agenda of the 9th House of Representatives under the speakership of Femi Gbajabiamila. Currently, part of reforms on constitutional amendment focus on the enhancement of participation of youths, women, and individuals with disabilities in decision-making.
We have promised you that we are going to take some of you for internship. That internship will expose you to all the various nitty-gritties of what parliamentary system is doing.
The House also seeks the enhancement of LMI through bankrolling of fellow study at the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies.
Make sure that the geopolitical zones that have not been represented are the ones to be considered at this particular junction.
The National Assembly is also working on implementing 35% women inclusion in civil service administration.
For the very first time that I know in this country, we are having young people, about 5 of them, as ministers. And in the very first time, you have a youth ministry that in the real sense of it.
In our cohort, we have a 50-50 distribution of men and women, and then also we have 2 persons with disabilities in our midst.
To urge the government to, as much as possible, try to implement the provisions of the Disability Act of 2018.
I've got a first-hand exposure on what it is to be a legislator in Nigeria.
You understand that, okay, reps are not there to do projects, they're there for oversight.
High point of the interactive session was the donation of 10 million naira to the cohort by the Speaker of the Green Chamber, Tajuddin Abbas. From the National Assembly, Joshua Gunjide, Nta News.
The Federal Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitation says it is leaving no stone unturned to ensure the protection and sustenance of critical national water and sanitation assets. The Minister, Joseph Utsev, stated this when he revisited the Dadinkowa Dam in Gombe State, where he debunked reports that the dam is collapsing due to flooding. Nafisa Umar Gaba reports.
It is an assessment visit by the Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation to Dadinkowa to clarify the unfounded information published by some national dailies insinuating collapse of Dadinkowa Dam due to flooding. Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation Joseph Tamu reassured Nigerians that the ministry is always on the alert to safeguard lives and property of communities where water infrastructure are sited.
We are actually here in Dadinkowa to tell Nigerians that the information that came out in prints and other social medias are actually misleading. And we want to assure the citizens that are living here, the inhabitants and general public, that everything is under control. The dam is supplying its best in terms of irrigation, water supply, and the hydropower components.
We in the Ministry of Water Resources are leaving no stone unturned to ensure that our critical national asset is adequately protected.
When we saw it, I saw it yesterday, somebody sent the link. When I opened it, I was shocked. We don't know the source of the information. We don't know the indices they used.
The multi-million naira Dadinkowa Dam project, apart from providing electricity, has also been selected for the federal government's special irrigation project that will ensure food sufficiency in line with the president's renewed hope agenda. The Dadinkowa farmlands were submerged due to recent flooding in the area. The dam was not affected. Nafisa Umar Garba, NTA News.
As part of efforts to ensure proper road management and safety, the Federal Road Safety Corps will officially launch a mobile app to monitor overspeeding by motorists and warn them of any impending danger ahead to avert accidents. Enlightening Nigerians on how the mobile app works, Corps Marshal, Federal Road Safety Corps, Shehu Mohammed, said the FRC will continue to explore and come up with technological innovations that will safeguard the lives and property of Nigerians while on the roads.
The functionality of this app is that while the National Traffic Radio covered only Abuja, with the application, the National Traffic Radio will be can be listened anywhere where this application is being used. It covers everywhere once the app is being downloaded and is being used anywhere in Nigeria.
He therefore appealed to the public to download the app on their mobile phones when launched Thursday, 5th of September, to ensure the safety of all. The Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, COREN, is facilitating the development of a comprehensive training and certification program to address specific needs of engineering artisans in relevant sectors of the economy. This was as the regulatory body inaugurated the Sector Skills Council for Engineering in Nigeria. Tokwe Alabi reports.
The Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, COREN, had in 2021 said 80% of artisans found on construction sites across the country are foreigners, with Nigeria losing $4.5 billion annually to the Council for the Regulation of
national infrastructural projects instead of importing labor from ECOWAS and from Asia.
We assure you that we work diligently to make that happen. I believe at the next Current Assembly, we will give a report.
With the theme, Regulating Engineering Profession for Shared Prosperity in Nigeria, stakeholders believe the time is now for the Council to synergize with other relevant bodies to curb quackery and reduce the country's high unemployment rate.
To provide highly skilled workforce for the Nigerian economy, we need to focus on building on the food soldiers.
This is definitely a way to go for most countries who would like to develop and become an important contribution to not only to Nigeria but also to the world.
The Nigerian Society of Engineers will continue to collaborate with COREN. We do realize the fact that there is no doubt that skills development is the way to go.
With this inauguration, COREN is expected to leverage technology and digital platforms to provide accessible and flexible training opportunities for artisans to herald positive impacts on the industry and the economy. In Abuja, Tokwe Alabi, NTA News.
You're watching the News at 11 on Nta News24. More reports in a moment. Welcome back. The Labour Party, in its extended stakeholders meeting held on Wednesday in Umuahia, Abia State, has appointed Senator Nnadi Usman as the chairman of the caretaker committee that will, among other functions, broker peace, as well as unify members ahead of the 2027 general elections. Ifeoma Ndu reports.
Gathered at the banquet hall of the Abia State Government House in Umuahia are top officials of the Labour Party from across the country. The essence of their meeting is to get a leadership that will be recognized by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC.
We're just trying to set up just a small committee that will help to do what we want, the right thing, which will be just a period of maybe 120 days. We want everything we're going to do to end as quickly as possible. so that we'll be able to know what we're doing. So we're not trying to set up another leadership. No, we're not trying to do this. It's just a system that will help to get to where we're going.
Following the end of the tenure of the National Working Committee of the party, which they noted has created a vacuum, a 29-member caretaker committee led by Senator Nemadi Usman was set up.
Because INEC does not recognize the working committee, National Working Committee that existed, if they conducted primaries and selected candidates, they will not list those candidates in those off-cycle elections.
The caretaker committee is to immediately ensure that all local government, state and national congresses and convention of the Labour Party are held as soon as possible in accordance with the constitution of the Labour Party.
The meeting, according to the organizers, marks the beginning of a new Labour Party in Nigeria. In Umuahia, Ifeoma Ndu Okolie, Nta News.
Nigeria has been elected as one of the 4 vice presidents of the African Union of Broadcasting in a keenly contested election held this Wednesday at the ongoing General Assembly of the Union in Gaborone. Nigeria was a member of the Executive Council that was dissolved at the end of its 2-year tenure on Wednesday. The 4-day AUB General Assembly featured 6 panel discussions around the theme, the future of African media facing the challenges of new technologies and climate change, Nigeria's contributions to the growth and development of the broadcast industry in Africa, especially in the establishment and sharing of content on the AUB cloud platform by the NTA, was acknowledged and appreciated by member countries. Director General of the NTA, Salihu Abdulhamid Dembos, who is to represent Nigeria as the Vice President of the AUB, is expected to bring his wealth of experience to further develop the broadcast industry in Africa. Chairman Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabiri Erewa, has called for unity among Africans as she encouraged Nigerians in the diaspora with dual citizenship to keep in touch with home and always be proud of their Nigerian citizenship. Dabiri Erewa stated this when she received Miss Universe Nigeria Chidinma Onwe Adeshina at NIDCOM's office in Lagos. The NIDCOM boss described Chidinma's resilience given the circumstances surrounding her emergence as Miss Universe Nigeria as admirable and represents the creative energies of Nigerians all over.
Finally, we'll work with you, your next steps and whatever it is you decide to do, and see how we can support your family, yourself, as you start this new life.
So it has been an amazing experience. I haven't really been out to experience more, and I'm really proud to say that I'm going to stay here and explore. So yes, after everything else, Nigeria is home now.
Miss Universe Nigeria, accompanied by Guy Murray Bruce, organisers of the Miss Universe Nigeria beauty pageant, who said they were glad to have offered Chidinma the platform to contest, noted that she is to represent Nigeria at the Miss World 2024 in Mexico later in the year. Miss Chidinma Onwe Adeshina had been forced to withdraw from the beauty pageant in South Africa due to her dual nationality, though being born in South Africa 23 years ago. The National Hydroelectric Power Producing Areas Development Commission, NHYPEDEC, says 80% of the worst hit communities by flooding are under its member states due to activities of the hydroelectric dams in those areas. Managing Director of the Commission, Abubakar Sadiq Yelwa, stated this while giving an update on the level of flood devastation in all the 8 NHYPEDEC benefiting states at a press briefing held in Minna, Niger State headquarters of the Commission. Husseina Musa reports.
Flood disasters attributed to natural causes and conditions. In some cases, it occurred due to human activities and has remained the major and most daring emergency concern, with varying degree of devastation on lives, property, and means of livelihood of the affected communities. This year, reports from the National Emergency Management Agency indicates that flood has claimed 200 lives, washed away many homes and farmlands, displacing more than 200,000 people in 28 states of the country.
Preliminary report from our officers revealed that in Benue State, so far, 634 communities have been affected, with nearly 30,000 farmlands washed away. In Kebbi State, 6,959 households have been affected, with about 10,000 farmlands washed away, while one life is lost. In Niger State, we recorded a loss of 7 lives, 10 incidents in Magama and Mashegu local government areas along Mokwa-Nubu Safari Highway. This poses a very serious threat to His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's quest for food security and wealth creation in the country.
The Commission disclosed that 50% of its annual budget is expended to execute flood management and erosion control projects across its 8 benefiting states. In Minna, Hussaina Musa, Nta News.
News of a staff member of the Nigerian aviation handling company at the Malam Aminu Kano International Airport, who returned a huge amount of money to the owner, further amplifies how Nigeria is blessed with honest citizens. Though a cleaner with the firm, he defied temptation to the detriment of his economic status. Yahanasu Hassan Barao in this report unveils this patriotic Nigerian.
It is a typical early morning in Kode, a community in Dawakin Kudu local government area of Kano State. The daily hustle is in full swing, with people moving around to earn their living, some heading to the nearby places and others venturing into the city. Our visit is to spotlight a young patriotic Nigerian who has demonstrated exceptional honesty and integrity at his duty post. This young man returned $10,000 to the management of the Nigerian Aviation Handling Company, NAHACO, an act that has garnered widespread admiration.
I am so happy, and everyone in our community is proud of him.
I thank God. My prayer is for his younger ones to emulate him.
This is where Don Kode left his mark by returning over 16 million naira, the equivalent of $10,000 he found while cleaning an Egypt Airlines aircraft.
When he cited it, as what I heard, he looked for his immediate supervisor, who was not present in the flight. He now saw the station manager of the airline, Mr. Karim Gad. He now called the attention of the man and handed the money over to him.
The time I found this money, all I had in my bank account was 3,800 naira.
This is not the first time Don Kode, who has been working with the Nigerian Aviation Handling Company, is showing this kind of attitude of returning items. This is a clear sign of honesty among Nigerians, which many people believe it does not exist. His colleagues describe him as a shining example, one that many Nigerians should strive to emulate.
He's an honest staff, dedicated, and actually we are proud of him.
Upbringing, it plays a long role in this aspect.
In recognition of his outstanding character, Don Kode has been converted to a permanent and pensionable employee with NAHACO. He has also received a double promotion, being named as brand ambassador for the company and rewarded with cash, all for embodying a character truly deserving of emulation. In Kano, Yahanasu Hassan Barao, NTA News.
Honesty definitely pays. Deputy Speaker, House of Representatives Benjamin Kalu congratulates former Secretary to the government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, on his 68th birthday. The Deputy Speaker commends Boss Mustafa's dedication and remarkable contributions to Nigeria's developments through quality and impactful leadership, especially as chairman of the defunct Presidential Task Force on COVID-19. While extolling Boss Mustafa for bringing decorum and faith into public service, Kalu wishes the former SGF more years in good health and success in all his endeavors. Let's now get some developments in the world of sports.
Ishao Ogunkunle has continued his giant strides at the ongoing Paralympics, securing qualification to the semi-finals of the men's singles class 4 para-table tennis. Ogunkunle defeated the home favourite Maxime Thomas, a triple Paralympic bronze medalist, recovering from a set down to win 3-1. This is the second match the Nigerian is coming out tops against a top-seeded player. Before coming to Paris, the farthest Ogunkunle had gone at the Paralympic Games is the quarter-finals at Tokyo 2021, but now he will be playing his first ever semi-final match at the Paralympics. In para-powerlifting, Esther Ogechu Nwogu has won Nigeria's second medal. It took 4 Paralympic records to separate China's Zhe Shui and Nigeria's Esther Nwogu, who both won gold and silver medals respectively in the women's 41 kg powerlifting event. Nwogu set 2 new Paralympic records with her last 2 attempts, lifting 112 kg and 118 kg respectively, with China's Zhe Shui setting a new personal record of 119 kilograms to win the gold medal.
And that concludes the news at 11 on Nta News 24. Thanks for watching. I am Dennis Adegunloye. Have a pleasant night.